have genuinely saved the modern poetry industry. Social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok have genuinely saved the modern poetry industry. Ooh, this is the most neutral I've seen this audience so far. The most neutral. Does anyone want to speak to this? Anyone on the opposite ends? I'm seeing a lot of pointing over here. Do you want to give a little, yeah?
I know I post on my TikTok and I got like 1,500 followers in 3 months, so we all should really do it. And no one really knows about it, so I really feel like we gotta reach out together and with more audiences.
Thank you.
If men could bleed like women, feel it slip down their thighs, cooling in their underwear, sudden heavier when they sneeze or cough, would they blush? Would they go still, afraid of the rust-red print left behind? Would they feel dirty, cursed, unworthy? Or would it be a joke, a harmless accident? If men could bleed like women, would they hide in bathroom stalls, twisting toilet paper into a wad, hoping it holds, mouthing a prayer that the stain stays below the sightline? Or would they walk out clean, chin up, because no one would dare point and stare? If men could bleed like women, would tampons even exist? Would they accept death by toxic shock syndrome with the same shrug that we are taught? Or would they be allowed to bleed as they please, no intervention, no apology, no plastic wrap shame? Would birth control and condoms be as easy as a bag of chips, a button on a vending machine? Would abortion arrive like an oil change, scheduled from your phone, in between scrolls, no questions asked? If men could bleed like women, I mean really bleed, dark and clotted, face smashed into mud each time they stand, would they stop writing rules about where and when we are permitted to leak? Would they stop invading hands everywhere, entering any way they can? Would they lower their hands in the presence of their maker, the divine feminine, the holy her? If men could bleed like women, would they finally see her and love her in all of her choices? Or would they find a way to ruin that too?
That's all everybody. I'm going to read a poem today called Nightmares of His Hands Caressing Another. When I was 19, I had my first miscarriage. I broke up with my boyfriend before my body could even shake its way back. People couldn't understand how I could leave someone so suddenly, so vulnerable. They would say I'm just confused, hurt, angry. All of this was true, but not in the way they thought. See, long before the nightmares of the miscarriage were nightmares of his hands caressing another woman, the sound of his voice saying her name was like a song replaying in my head, and I tried to change the record, but all the other records were already broken. Losing my chance at motherhood isn't what drove me to the edge. That was actually the biggest blessing. See, I know I was being saved from a man who could never love anyone more than himself. So it was easier to mourn the death of my child alone than it would have been to cry myself to sleep next to the silhouette of a man who felt more like a ghost than my lover. So absent. As if he were there, but only as a distant memory. I can't remember the texture of his hands, but I'm sure she does. I wondered why he stopped kissing me goodnight. It's because he couldn't wait to kiss her good morning. He watched the light leave my eyes and gave her the sun instead. So when you ask me how I coped with the loss of my child, I will tell you, I didn't. I was too busy scrubbing the memory of him with another woman off of my skin. Too busy watering myself down to try and be enough for him. Too busy losing myself trying to find him until I could get the courage to find me. And after 10 months, 304 days, 7,300 hours, 438,000 minutes, I found the strength to choose me. I will never choose anyone over me again. I learned why self-love is so important. It prevents you from accepting things that could never be good enough for you. I spent my whole life thinking I wasn't enough for them. Truth is, they were not enough for me. He was not enough for me. And I know it sounds crazy, but if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. There is now a fire in me that no one can put out, and I promise you, it will burn any man down that tries to water me down. Because I am no longer a tiny flame. I am now the whole damn forest fire.
You said something out here. One, two, three, damn! Tell us the name of your book. What is it called out?
We help each other while the world was crumbling is the name of my book. And it's hopefully coming out one day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This book is called Place Notable Days. And it includes Aries, the twists and the greatest nuance is included in greatest and calculated of the dissolved touch of the stomach race, whereas you want to face food. In a case, they're filling water and what you first. Consultations with his close. He has sweet words, pressing airs, and we take out through what to do here. Shares our wisdoms, save not the relatives to stop baby. Being raised, getting moving between some miles to reference. Happily ever have trust. The ebbing flows from a time how snobs that is behind me. The chance of two late cars, the channels are which most of the cars, when it intersection with the only eyes, keep your account for yourself. The beauty of out in that you passive words and to passive moments and to say that virtually cast in locks and leaves, covers and Neptune goods. For sense instead is a struggle with it. How what both blossoms and days. And all that begins in just my elegantness and being violence. What just parts in tirings that fall on between the two. Okay.
Hey y'all. This is my book, manifestation. We got other things that I wasn't going to be yesterday. So we stay prepared. But beautiful piece, shout out to my East Coast and my totally fucked up thing. Alright, so this piece is called Pan African Pop Off. How's everybody feeling? Everybody down here? Okay. Alright, y'all. We did it. We did it, y'all! Alright. This poem was inspired after somebody pissed me off. Pan-African pop off. That's right. Pan-African pop off. One day I believed my voice was worth stifling and sacrificing and silencing. Yet I was a writer since the age of 11. I knew to get through loss, I would have to script and scribe into empty spaces. I, at age 14, was flown to the southern tip of Africa to shake the hands of a revolutionary. Fingertips bounded into one, the wrinkles in his hand whispered, "Go and free our people. The world freed me. Long live Nelson Mandela." Who said I? Ghana girl living in the Bronx, have no place in Latinx spaces, but I done touched ground to the buffets of the Dominican Republic. Experienced a love so true between a Bronx girl and a Haitian Dominican family. God bless me, familia dominicana, for patching up the broken family in my chest with Kanya, Genepa, Imango. The sweetest love lives in the Caribbean. Satellite my way to Brazil. Still a youth running Ken and Latin America into the quilombos, where liberation made a home in black bodies and submerged into palm oil, black-eyed beans, okra stew, and kose. Like the one my mama makes during Ramadan, mashallah, I am the daughter of the diaspora. I said, Hiola. My poems are still in the air in Havana. The salt of my tears rest by the Malecon, where my body sat sea soaked, consoled by the ocean. I'm just sick and tired of non-black bodies telling my black body who I am, what I want to be, what I need to do to be better. When I'm literally the motherfucking GOAT since age 14, you will order my 4-page CV for the rest. And I will not digress with knowledge, blackness, and poetry all over my veins. And while your theoretical frameworks are still researching for the formula that's resting in my DNA, I broke barriers and patched up the wounds back together, created communities just with my smile. I've been the antidote that Pan-Africa been searching for. Sing with my blood if you don't believe me. Sincerely, the poet Scott. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just get right into it. Next, my father asked, how did I get cancer? His doctor said, the National Institute of Health Standards have changed and we no longer have to give prostate exams every year. I called it institutional cost-saving genocidal math. The last 2 minutes of a 20-minute appointment, the oncologist says, cancer, prostate, advanced stage, it's out the bag, 2 years left. They dropped the gland. Cancer, who rarely loses a battle, was given a 5-year head start. Specialists were enlisted to gather data in defense of the institution. How did they miss it? Every fluid of the body produced, interrogated, and asked to tell its story. Organs manipulated by fingertips, scanned by superhero machines with X-ray vision to determine if they were giving aid and comfort to the enemy. The soul and its guide walked miles of long, white hallways. Pain management, chemotherapy. They sat in waiting rooms blinking, the price is right, or Wheel of Fortune. When it comes to death, black skin gets you the early bird special. No need to fill out a form, a 2-for-1 if you're pregnant. The appointment is made, a death is chosen, a reaper is assigned, there are no reminder calls. The business of dying runs a tight ship and is never behind schedule. Next!
I want to do new shit so bad. But then, like, a lot of y'all don't really know my poetry, so I can only do something like tried and true. Sorry, y'all. I should okay. 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 I'm gonna do some tried and true. I need about 2 This poem is called Recipe for Man. I made love today. I stirred in patience and kindness and grace, sifted out envy, refused to boast, did not seek praise for the work that I've done. We all share the duty to make love daily. I let it rise overnight. Love needs time to grow, to soften the blow of the dust of pride, leaving only the raw, vulnerable, amorphous blob to be shaped into something beautiful, kneaded until all anger melts into forgiveness. I made love today. I threw out all records of past mistakes and mishaps and batches gone wrong, the prior test of love unwatched that waited too long, becoming charred, inedible imitations of the original recipe I followed. I made love today. I let hope rise until truth wafted out of the oven, coated and questioned with great respect, and when the buzzer rang that joyous song, I knew I'd done my part. This love that I made is good. it is not alive. It is not the love that was made to heal the tired, broken soul, the cure for past pains, comfort food from the comforter that will protect always, trust always, hope always, persevere always, always. This bread is not the living bread that once fell from the heavens. You will eat it and grow hungry again. But still, I must wait. I must learn how to make love. Although I know my love will never taste the same, although I know it cannot heal the same, although I know I could never truly make love from scratch, I am simply recreating from the recipe we have all been given. We have all been tasked with the responsibility to bake love daily. I can only hope to get closer and closer every time, until world hunger subsides, when man falls again from the skies.
Death to confidence in life, it seems. She is my warbling matriarch, the lovely siren of ill portents. I was born into her dying house. I have risen from this speaking coffin with my very own inheritance of doom sounds. Though I don't recognize my own voice. It was not my choice to grow in graves, but I played in the bleak symphony, reared in spiraling rhapsodies of death, spinning like madness on turntables as she bathed my dying dirge. Home brimmed with wailing spirits of woe, befitting accommodations for me, because I would become the banshee, yowling, howling, suffering premonitions within my haunted sanctuary. I glimpse the imminence of my becoming, side-eyeing the apparition who bides patiently with time, content with watching my colors fade to cemetery gray, while the phantasm inside prepares to showcase what it has learned. The cryptic cryptid who nurtured me in her throat taught me how to emote thanatophobic anxiety. And I am the final call trumpet, warbling warnings of the last days before the hearse in my keening heart becomes the only voice I hear.
My bad.
Weapons of mass distraction. Dissect the deception with the surgeon's calm hand. Not loud, just precise like a diagram plan. They don't chain you with iron, they program your glance. Keep your mind in a loop while your body just stands. It's a beautiful prison, high-def illusion. Freedom got edited down to a curated confusion. School got you spellbound, thumb in hypnosis. Truth got buried under trending psychosis. I'm savage, hand with the rhythm, destructing the signal, every bar like a blade cutting chords to the digital. They don't need war when attention's enlisted. Turn your focus to thought, and your will gets evicted. Look, weapons of mass distraction aimed at your vision, not bullets, but bandwidth controlling decision. They don't kill the body, they fracture the mind, leaving you breathing, but lost in fabricated time. Notifications knocking like feds at your door, every ping another piece of your presence at war. Algorithms studying every thought you don't guard, build a profile so deep, it knows you better than God. Now tell me, who's really watching who in this theater of sight? When the screen got you staring, but it's feeding you light. This ain't sunlight, it's synthetic persuasion. Manufactured realities of math calibration. I spit scripture without calling it a sacred sermon, just coding transmission for minds that are searching. No cathedral meaning, the truth got no ceiling, just frequency rising through anyone feeling. They monetize your fear like Arrow Rangers stock. Sell division wholesale while they silence the clock. Every second you spend in the reaction is power. They could have built empires, but dies in the hour. So I move like a ghost through the noise and the static, mind automatic, but the soul still erratic. Unplugged from the scripted, been feeding the masses. Now I see through the smoke and the mirrored glasses. Weapons of mass distraction, I don't duck on my study, they aim. Turn the system around inside out and rewrite the game.
Free tarot reading on Virgil. Palm Tree Punk. I'm part of the disruption planted here by accident. My parents cleverly hid me like they hid their marriages to other people, in plain sight. Bastard ivy tearing down the brick facades. Most people can't believe I was born here until I start telling the stories. I like to track the exact moment when people lose respect for me. Pinpoint the disappointed droop as they realize I've forgotten the name of their favorite author, or I can't hear for shit, or I'm into tarot, or I've worked as a whore. My ex told me it was like I had 0 intelligence, max wisdom for stats. But I like to think of it as being non-binary, both 0 and 1 simultaneously. In tarot, the fool is 0, the magician is 1, which is to say, I walk in 0 brain, full innocence. But the magician is the one who comes out later to conjure and clarify what the fuck just happened to me. Which is to say, I lose my keys and fall into holes a lot. But my critical analysis of gender in a Russ Meyer film could make an angel weep. Eyes on the prizes, I follow a trail of used lotto tickets to the donut shop that sells single-use packets of painkillers. We go in a line together like ghosts to meet. Peter and Wolf chasing breadcrumbs, all of us hungry to kill our pain. At the corner, the street deals me a 4 of hearts and a used syringe. I look up the 4 of hearts on my phone, translate it into tarot. The advice I get, I should voice my concerns and try to work them out. There is no translation for the syringe. I, no longer addicted to love, but loving nonetheless, voice my concerns and try to work them out. Thank you.